So I'm tired of me. You guys tired of this yet?
Yes.
Who is that?
Jared.
I pay you. Stop it. Nelly. Nelly. His email address is Nelly, guys. Did you notice that on the nicknames? All right. Let's see. There we go. Oh, this is so small. It doesn't pinch to zoom, right? Nope. So those of you in the first 3 rows can help. Oh, magic, man. All right, but we need to see both. How big can we get it to fit both on there? Perfect. One more? Okay, go ahead. We can cut off the price point because you can see the price point here. So go over a little bit. Other way. This is why I'm not a good passenger. Okay. Obviously, these are the same months that these are, and the price point's in the middle. This is just properties that are listed. Somebody tell me what they see. That was last year, 2016. This is 2017.
Wow.
There's no more under 200,000. It's disappearing.
Disappearing. Uh-huh. What about
It's under
200 to 300,000?
Yeah, it's half.
What about 300 to 400,000?
Yep.
Anything under 600.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any category where we have seen more come to market than last year? And then the bottom number is the total for each month. Is there a trend there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going down.
They're all
So last March, we did 4,300 new listings, 4,346. And then April, we did 4,473. Look here.
Wow.
Contraction? More contraction? Didn't we say, haven't we been saying it's going to continue? Less and less available inventory? Go ahead and zoom out. Of course, you will all get this. I put 2 numbers on either side and then a percentage in the middle. What do you think that is for? What do you think those numbers represent? Nope.
Those are the total, right?
Not sold. This is listed. So last year, the total through April listed was 16,424. The total listed this year through April is 15,020. So a difference of 7.4%. That's actually a significant number.
7.4 less.
7.4% less. Yes. I think that might be important to talk to your buyers about.
Yes.
Okay. Sold by price point. Sold now. So same months. I'm going to pause here and have this little discussion. So a lot of you know I coach agents, and pretty much across the country, with a couple of market exceptions, there's a lack of available inventory in almost every major market. The challenge is we say, oh, we have an inventory shortage. Who has said that? And what's interesting is if you look at the sold numbers, we're not that far off of last year, not statistically relevant. My point here is that we don't have that many fewer homes, or at least we haven't had. That 7.5% is the first time we've seen fewer coming to market this first quarter. It's not that we have fewer homes to sell. So when we say we have an inventory shortage, that's not really what's happening. What's happening? It's a question. We have more demand, more buyers. So what's happening with our days on market? Shorter, even shorter. I think it was Josette and I think, or maybe it was Dawn and I. Was it you and I talking 2 weeks ago and we said, oh my God, it's been on the market for 20 days, it's so seasoned. And I heard it come out of my mouth and I'm like, oh my God, it's crazy. But that's like a grandparent property at 20 days, right? It's way seasoned. What do you see in terms of price points here? Go back. It's small again. So in April, we listed 57 properties under 200,000. How many did we absorb?
44.
That's pretty close to 100%. 97% list price to sales price ratio. And it's the, besides the 950 and 1,000 above, our lowest list price to sales price ratio is under 200. Why do you think that would be?
Prices are going up higher.
Say?
Prices are getting higher.
Well, no, so what I'm saying is that our cheapest price point, under 200,000, has the lowest sales price to list price ratio. You're not getting bid as much above as some of the other
Well, the
properties.
percentage when you're dealing under 200, $1,000 represents much more than.
That's true, that's true. What else? I think you said it. What kind of condition do you think these properties are in? How many of you get excited when you hear about a property under 200,000? Right? But there's equity in it because most of them aren't in great condition. How many of you have seen a disgusting property at $500,000?
More of that.
Huh?
There's more of that.
There's way more of that, absolutely. Okay, going on. So new listings might be a little hard to see. Our trajectory is steeper, declining steeper than it has in the previous years. Usually we see a little bump up, and then for whatever reason, in May, it slides down. Are there holidays in May? Something happen in May that would usually make that happen? Happens on the 5th, but they take the rest of the month off. Some schools get out, right? Yeah, so I think that's probably what you see in that. But for it to slow down this much in April is a new thing. And we'll see how we recover from that. Active listings? Even down from last month. Who was in the market in April of 2013? Who was a real estate agent? What were we saying about inventory then? We had no idea what low was, but that's what we were saying. It's terrible. We don't have anything to sell. Pendings. Now, if our active, what was the line doing? Just show me with your hands. What was the line doing with new listings that came to market in April? It was down. What was happening the previous slide with actives? It's down, but not quite as much. And now what's happening with pendings? Up. More compression. And solds? I don't even know if you can really tell that. It was down. And if you, again, look at the trend, it's down before it usually goes down by a month or two. Why do you think that would be?
Well, if there's less in the market, less
No.
people sell.
There's less standing inventory on the market, but the number of actual closed properties isn't that far off year to date. Not that far off, not.
Otherwise it dropped just before the whole thing. They're preparing for summer.
Could be. Why? Any other reasons?
Longer escrow periods, people are impatient.
I think, how many of you have had something fall out and then put it right back in, but it's fallen out? We've seen a lot of those for whatever reason. One of the things that I don't think we've seen a lot of up until maybe now is buyers just pulling the trigger so quick, sight unseen. I just need to get an offer in and get it. And then 2 days later going, I didn't really want it. So that will push how long we're in escrow out. We might have 5 days at market time, but by the time you go off the market, back on the market, off the market, and close, you could be seeing 45 to 60 days as opposed to first time in, close in 30 days. Does that make sense? So that would give us some reason why that might go out. Median sales price? Wow. You would expect it to trend up though, right? If we're having a constriction of supply. Yes, Leon.
Okay. There's something very interesting. If you open this, I think you have 3 years over here, right?
It's back, it's 4 year.
If you,
it's a rolling
if you
4 year.
open a 10-year, or actually the max in this, in those, you can see that the prices that we have right now, it's 2004.
Yep, it was the peak of the market.
It is exactly where we are in price.
Which is why some people will argue that we're still undervalued. Because over
They just
2004 to
don't have
now is how many
information.
years?
They don't have the information.
How many? 13 years. So if it took us 13 years to get back up to the peak of our market, and now we're just even with the peak of our market,
That's-
where's the 4% appreciation that we can see? That we should see year over year? Does that make sense? So I met with a gentleman today who thinks we're significantly undervalued. I'm going, "Ooh, okay, no, we'll see." We do know because of all the factors that we've talked about for a long time, this is going to remain the market we're in for a long time. Average sales price? Now that line went what? Now what we tend to see, when do you think the luxury market starts to get legs? When do you think, let me phrase that better. When do you think more luxury properties sell in a year? In the winter or in the summer? Okay, so we're just seeing the luxury prices hit, because if you have a $8 million property that falls into these stats, it's gonna spike that average up. Does that make sense? We're seeing some of those. Median market time. I went all the way back, it's the lowest it's ever been. So 10 days, which means if the median represents the midway point, half the properties on the MLS that close escrow are actively marketed 11 days or more, and half of the properties are 9 days or less. This is why Dawn and I were laughing. At day 11, you're overpriced.
I assume that you're not looking at the history, because some agents take it off the market and put it back on.
No, I'm not looking at
It's
history.
difficult, but-
Well, and I don't know that there's so many properties, which represents how many properties did we say? 15,000 properties. So what if 500 were screwed around with like that? I don't know that it would impact that stat too much. And if it does, it impacts it every other year, so we can still see the difference. Does that make sense? And I can't, even if I could for this month, I couldn't go back every month and do that, no way.
Can you go back? Okay, there's something interesting. Everything is going down on this month, while in the other years it's not that deep.
Say that again, Leon.
No.
In the winter time,
You
it's
see a
lower.
steeper descent
Yeah.
in the curve for this year.
Yes. It's going steeper. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, yes, it's a steeper fall off because it's a steeper contraction or more rapid contraction. Not that we have that many fewer homes, it's just we're absorbing them so fast because the demand is so far greater than what we have as supply. I think it was about a year ago, I was looking over here because I remember somebody who raised their hand. I think about a year ago in the staff meeting, I said, well, let's just do it. How many of you, by show of hands, like raise your hands up really high, have an active, ready, willing, able buyer? Keep your hand up if you have 2. Keep your hand up if you have 3. Keep your hand up if you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oh God, 9, 10. How many do you have?
20-something?
Jeez, okay, so just in this room, how many do we have? Technical term I'm not gonna repeat on Facebook Live. A lot. And this isn't obviously even half of the office. So if we have 200 active agents, do you think it's plausible that we could have 400 buyers?
Yeah.
2 buyers each? And how many available properties?
Not a lot.
5,238.
So 5,200, and we have 400 buyers in our office. How many offices in San Diego? Does anybody know? 3,000 individual brokerage offices in San Diego. So you think we have the demand?
Something also very interesting, since December 2014, we didn't even come across 25.
Yeah. Which is so fun, because for those of us who are a little bit older and been in the market a long time, you guys may not know this, but in a traditional real estate market, what's the even point in terms of inventory that we would traditionally say is right in the middle of a buyer or seller's market?
6 months.
6 months. 6 months of inventory. We have how many days? We have less than a month and a half of inventory, and we haven't had, we probably haven't had 6 months of inventory since 2008.
It was 2 years with 6 months of inventory. I think it was 2012.
Is it 25? I'm gonna challenge you, I'm gonna look at that. I don't think so, because it wouldn't have dropped down that much. All right, so there's the months of inventory. We go back to 2013, Leon, and we're at
Yeah.
3 months, 2.75 months. 3.6 at the peak in August. That's still an aggressive seller's market. My point in saying that, for all of those of you who have only been in the market a few years, all you have known is a seller's market. It's all you've ever known. And it's probably all you're gonna know for a while. There are a few markets in the country that are now shifting and becoming a buyer's market. And guess where investor money's going?
Where are they?
Florida has a couple. Sarasota, Florida. All right, percentage of original list price, and same thing, Jerry, I can't go back and look at what they relisted at, and yet the trend is up. I would bet by the end of summer, we'll see the average percent over 100. I think we'll actually see it eclipse 100. We got real close back in 2013 at 99.4. But knowing what the inventory is doing, constricting, and the flood of demand we still have, and it's only the beginning of May, I think that will go over 100. As an average, that's insanity, guys. I think by end of summer. I don't know which month, but I think so. Now what's interesting, Amanda left the room. Do you know about the appraisal she just got back? So she was telling me, I wanted to quiz her on it. You guys had a property in escrow, I think for one of our agents, VA loan, $685,000 purchase price, and the appraisal came in $40,000. Oh, definitely, obviously, killed the deal. And the appraiser didn't read that stat.
And the VA stayed at the house.
Yeah. Which then it probably shouldn't have killed the deal.
They're not gonna be able to do anything.
Yeah.
They have to,
All right, listed compared to sold, rolling 12 months. Because you don't have last month's to see this next to, just know that basically, if your blue line is getting closer to your orange line, it means we're absorbing that inventory within a month. So essentially what it means. It's just a good visual representation. Is there any, let me ask it this way, I believe there's one where we have enough property to meet the demand. One price point, which is it? Over 950.
Yeah.
Over 950. Other than that, everything else is pretty doggone competitive. And are you all still feeling that?
Yeah.
Has anybody been able to write an offer and be the only offer on a property within the last month?
No.
You did? You got one? It's like a unicorn.
We're gonna get a counter, but,
Well,
yeah,
you're not competing?
no,
Not yet.
Where was it?
on Tommy and.
San Carlos, how much?
No,
Was it off market?
we were both touring it at the same time.
Wow, good for you. Well, so were you in there the day it was available, the first day, and submitted an offer that day?
We actually got in there, yeah, we set up the appointment before it came on the market, but they didn't let us in.
Good agent. How quickly did you submit your offer?
Like, really fast.
That's really the only secret. Get there before anybody else. Yeah, somebody had a hand
I
up.
just checked it. It was between 2010 and 2012.
That's when we had 6 months?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so get there fast. Monthly indicators presented by SDAR. La, 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 la. Charlie Brown. And I decided, for a couple reasons, I don't know if anybody has been watching my Facebook, but I think a sinus infection starting.
Yeah.
So this was really fun the last couple of days putting this together and going, God, why doesn't my brain work? And then I figured it out. So the slides that I added last month, I kept in here. The talking points haven't changed. How many actually went back and studied these and watched the links that I had included? You are such a good boy. You're a good girl. Everybody, you're a good boy. Everybody else, these are really good. Go back and read them. I figured you probably hadn't. So Eve, we're going to send them out again.
Yes.
And then I want to have a conversation. So if we are closing somewhere between 3,000 and 3,500 homes a month, which is what our average is, that's not significantly up or down, can we agree that we have similar inventory, just more demand? We said that earlier, right? Yes? So we have an inventory challenge in that we just sell everything so quick. However, we still have, what's 3,000 times 12?
36.
By the end of this year, we will have at least 36,000 sides closed in San Diego. That's kind of where it usually is. Not 36,000 sides, I'm sorry, 36,000 sales. How many sides is that?
32,000.
72.
So there's 2 sides to every one, right? Yes?
Yes.
How many do you need? How many do you need of those 72,000?
100.
100? 100. That is your guys' goal, I know. So do you think you can get them? There's 72,000 to go after.
It's,
Even a goal as big as 100, is it possible?
Yeah.
it is 720 times.
Yeah, okay. So if, let's say we got that 100 unit goal, how many conversations is it gonna take to find those 100 people that we know exist because they're in this number? We don't know, right? Let's do some quick math. Take out a piece of paper,
50
borrow from your
50
neighbor,
contacts. 50 contacts.
50,
50 contacts,
50 contacts.
50 people that you talk for each one of the closings. So
Do you
that's
think, so
5,000
that's actually the question I'm gonna ask. So that's, is that your number?
That's 5,000 people that I.
Is that your number? Do you know that for you, it's 50 contacts to a contract?
Yes.
Okay, does anybody else know their number? You know your number?
I think we're at 12 people.
12 conversations to a contract?
To get, okay, 12 to get the lead and then 3 to convert the lead to.
So 36 to
That's
1.
36.
That's not bad.
That's perfect.
That's not bad at all. Now, here's what's a little shocking. You're only saying that 'cause she's not here, but we're live on Facebook, so. Yeah. So here's what's shocking. Only 2 people in the room know that number for themselves. How much more power do they have in their businesses than you do? Rhetorical. Don't answer it. But let's take Leon's number. Does anybody think, if you just think, is it feasible that for every 50 people you talk to, you can find, qualify, and get somebody an escrow? Do you think it's more, I want some feedback. Do you think it's more than that?
I think an average shall be somewhere in the 100.
What do you guys think? Give me a number. I want a number that as a room we can agree on.
73.
Thank you, 73. And can I hear another number? 80? 10? Okay,
Yeah.
Linda's on her own special island. It's a good island to be on. You know, the numbers were going up, not down. What if it's 100? And I really want to know.
200. Is that the right?
I think that's what bold
Okay.
shows, 100.
I want to know though, does everybody in here think if you actually had 100 conversations, you could find and I almost said a bad word, and consummate a sale? Yes?
Yes.
100 conversations, you could find a buyer or seller and get them an escrow.
Yes.
Yeah? No, if it's no, it's okay, because we can do the math another way. Bob?
Say yes.